Thank you, Toyota! Toyota is bringing, hopefully, a 2-liter Supra option to the United States. They also just released the Yaris GR, which is a beautiful looking car, hot hatch. It's like about the size of a Fiesta ST. Amazing wheels, nice interior. Toyota's just doing it right now, especially with the Gazoo Racing segment that they have implemented with the Mark V Supra. I'm very excited about this. There are some articles that show that it is coming to the US, the 2-liter Supra 4-cylinder. I did not expect that to be coming to the US. I thought that would be for overseas. Didn't think that Toyota would feel that there was a big enough market for it here. But it also makes sense because the BMW Z4 is offered in a 4-liter option here. I think it's the 30i is what that is called. So I'm very excited about that. It's also 100 kilograms lighter. You have an Alcantara seat option, which I think is great. In the STIs, in the limited model, you cannot get, if I'm thinking about this correctly, I think limited is the high-end model for Subaru. In the limited model, they make you get leather seats. In the base model, it comes with the Alcantara, which is what I would rather have in a car like that, especially after having leather. I just think Alcantara is a sportier look, and it's better to sit in, regardless if it's hot or cold. I think it's just a better material. I really like this option. I think it's about 260 horsepower. Still has the ZF 8-speed transmission, no manual option, but as we're finding out, that's not that big of a deal. The transmission is really solid in this car. It's easy to tune, it's reliable, so I think it's all positive there. There is a company that is making a 6-speed manual transmission for the Supra. I think it's pretty expensive. I think it's about $12,000 or $15,000 to do that conversion, but I don't know that it's actually worth it. And again, I haven't driven a Supra to say, like, yes, this transmission is excellent. I'm just going off of what I've heard. But if it's anything close to something like what the Golf R has or Porsche PDK, I'm all in because it's really good. I just thought it was shocking that they released this 2-liter version, and it seems like it's also coming to the US. So I don't have pricing or anything like that, unfortunately, but I'm sure that will be following soon. But you can just see some of these images here. It's really exciting. So right now I'm currently in the ST, and I'm getting my windshield replaced. What I do is I actually tint my windshield with like CIR 70 ceramic SunTech film that I put on the car, and it's covered by insurance and everything like that. But I don't do it to tint the windshield so no one can see me. I do it just for UV rays so it won't wear on the dash over time, especially with the sun out here in Phoenix. And it does help with heat a little bit as well. So that's mainly why I did it. I do a lot of driving for work. Last year I did just under 20,000 miles. So a lot of driving, but that's good because you guys are able to see what happens to this car over time. I still do have those 2 engine codes up on my dash that I need to address. I have not done that yet, but they're not like huge issues. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check the card at the top of your screen. That way you're able to be filled in there. But yeah, they're gonna come to me remotely today and put a new windshield on. So I'm excited about that. It's the 6th windshield I've had to replace on this car, which sucks. So that's what's going on. Currently on my way to Jersey Mike's for some lunch. Here's a look at the crack across the whole windshield. There's also a pretty big chip down there. And also, if you guys are wondering about, is it legal to tint your windshield? It's not. You can get like a note from your doctor. I don't have any of that stuff. There's a nice M5. I don't have any of that stuff. I've got a clear layer. I mean, for someone to pull me over for that, you can still see clearly through my windshield. You would have to know there was tint on here if you were a cop. So no, it's not legal. You can get a note from a doctor saying your eyes are sensitive or some BS millennial shit. And also, I know I've talked about this before, Jersey Mike's giving me issues. You know, the 43-minute timer, then you just have an absolute blowout. I've found that if I don't get it Mike's way, I'm okay. So I usually get a number 9 with bacon. It's beautiful. I've had no issues. Cross my fingers. We'll see what happens. I recently did a Twitter poll asking what you guys wanted to see next. Intercooler upgrade, suspension upgrade, or sell the ST and buy a Golf R. as you can see by the results, everyone wants to see a suspension upgrade. So the two options that I am thinking about would either be a full coilover system or get the Ford Performance Sport Springs. Now, those are two very different cost options. The springs are about $200. The coilover system is about $1,000 plus installation. Really big difference there, and I'm still contemplating on exactly what I want to do. The other option is wheels on the ST. Now, I think the ones that I love most right now are these Anki wheels. Let's see what they're called, the TS5s, 18 by 8.5 inch, so they're slightly wider than the wheels that we have from OEM. My issue is that I actually really like these wheels. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. It would be nice to have a slightly wider wheel. I already have these mud guards in place to help protect the car from rock chips, and that's actually been doing a really nice job because there haven't been any since I installed that. I also have the ones for the rear. I just haven't put them on yet. But yeah, what do you guys think of those? They're 5-spoke, and they're not that expensive. I just think that's, I think that might be the route that I go. As far as the M2 goes for upgrades, I was looking at the Dynon Stage 1 tune, Dynon exhaust. Again, I'm still experimenting with this car and learning about it before I want to dive into stuff. There are some front wheel arch, like there's a splash guard that can be installed right here that I'm going to get, just because the car is so wide. I'll do an install video as well, but the car is so wide that it sprays rocks up along here and gets chipped. Yeah, so I'm just going to protect it from that. I might even do more paint protection film. Another issue I just discovered was this is dragging off the front of the car. Also, this panel here just needs flat out replaced. So I'm going to have to do that. The guys who changed the oil last time at Pep Boys just, yeah, they were really lazy about it, and I think they just pulled that down instead of actually taking the bolts out, which ripped the bolts out of this part of it. So that kind of pisses me off, and I'm going to have to replace that. And I'm going to go with the ones you guys suggested with the Ford C-Max. It's actually all plastic. It's a much cleaner piece, so that's what I'm going to go with for that. But that'll be another video that I have coming up for the ST. Now, this is a bigger piece of news. I just bought this M2, and I'm a small channel, I'm not making a ton of revenue from YouTube, but I am possibly getting the Tesla Model Y coming up. I've always said I want to get the Tesla Model Y, but I thought it was going to be the beginning of 2021 before we were able to get our hands on one. It turns out that they are about 6 months ahead of delivery schedule, and deliveries could start as early as April this year. So I'm really excited about that. I want the dual motor all-wheel drive version. I want to have an all-wheel drive SUV. My wife is going to be driving it a lot of the time, so I want to make sure it's all-wheel drive. It's safe, has the low center of gravity. That is going to be awesome. I am all for the EV movement. After driving a Tesla, I can see why their conversion rate is so high on test drives, because it blew my mind. And you kind of get the best of both worlds. You'll have acceleration 0 to 60 at 4.8 seconds, and you'll have 280 miles of range. I would have to get some type of port installed here. I think it's about $500 for charging it overnight and everything, but I am happy to do that. Last year, like I said earlier in this video, I drove 19,700 some miles in Arizona. That cost me about $2,600 in gas. You add that up year after year after year, plus oil changes, transmission fluid, all of these things that you have to do to maintain a combustion engine, you do not have to do on an electric car, and I think would bring a totally different aspect to the channel. I have high performance M car, I have a very affordable, great daily driver hot hatchback, and then I will have the future, which would be the Tesla Model Y. So I think that'd be a great balance for the channel. It would help me grow the platform, and maybe it will introduce you guys to something that you never thought of owning before. So that's the update. I'll let you know when I put my deposit down. I'll probably make a video on us customizing it and building it exactly how we want. But deliveries are 6 months ahead of schedule, and we'll probably be getting in line for that soon. So yeah, I need to clean the M2. And you know what? M2 is totally cleaned up. Wheels look perfect. Tire shine, the ammo mud really tops it off. Again, it's no sling, it's water based. and it's a gel. So that, to me, seems to be the best. That way it's not, doesn't sling off the car the second you drive off. So it looks really good. And then also the windshield was replaced. So you can see it has the tint on it, but again, it has to settle down in the sun for probably 48 hours. So I'm just going to leave it outside. Plus I drive it every day and park it outside. So it's going to be, it'll be able to settle, but it looks really good. It's nice having a perfect windshield again, because it just sucks. I mean, that's, like I said, this is the 6th windshield I've had to replace. So it's kind of a pain, but luckily I have that insurance that covers it. Otherwise it's about $800 to do that every time. That's it. The M2 looks perfect. Gonna get it pulled in the garage here. And that concludes the video. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate your support. Sorry for the slow upload pace, but once I get a little more settled, I'll start uploading more videos. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, and we'll see you next time.